You get on the phone and call these brothers, man. Man. Hey, Shalom, bro. Hey, yeah, man. I'm down here at the spot, man. Hey, come on through, man.
I'm walking up right now.
Oh, you are? Ah, dang, I ain't know that's you, bro.
I see you, bro.
Hey, Shalom, bro.
Most high Christ bless you.
Good?
I'm good.
You got him on the phone?
Okay. See us? Okay.
What's up?
Shalom, bro. Most high Christ bless you, man.
Hey, it's always good to see you.
Hey, come on through, bro. Come on through, man. Hey, Shalom.
What's up, man? Hey, shalom, bro.
Nah, we ain't say you were late, but
like that. Nah, you know. It's CP time is done with, man.
What's up, man?
These laying in order, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's good, man. Hey, shalom, Israel. It's IUIC Memphis. Hey, we here with another edition of Cuts from the Street. I'm Officer Zephon.
Officer Daniel.
Officer Medical.
Officer Jordan. Hey, and this is Cuts from the Street.
My people are so confused. They don't wanna taste the truth. I know this very well. Yeah. They sipping on lies, they sipping on hate. It's all in their drink. What they got in their cup, a bottle of lust, a bottle of all the sin. They just drink it again, and watch them drink it again and again. I know what they drink, they sipping on fornication, drunken off the lies.
What's going on, everybody? We're here this morning with Jennifer and Jerome. Okay, so today we're on the brink of July 4th, which we know is called Independence Day. Mr. Jerome, can you tell me what's the origin behind July 4th? As we know it?
Me personally, just to say I don't like July, so I'm kind of going with my own opinion.
Okay.
From what I know, Independence Day was the day they freed the slaves or something like that, right? I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying, I don't really do too much reading because, people laugh, but it's supposed to be where black people, got free, whatever. It was meant for freedom. That's the day we became free.
Okay. It's the day to celebrate our freedom, right? Is that what you say? And what about you, Ms. Jennifer?
I mean, I say the same thing, basically. Back in the 1800s. I think his name at the top, but I got it in my head. Well, from what I know, he did some type of speech and he still answers this unanswered. But from what I know, it's supposed to be for independence of black people.
Okay. Well, what if I told you all that July 4th, 1776, all right, was the first celebration of Independence Day, in which America got its independence from Great Britain. All right, because if they didn't, they would have went into slavery. All right, so we, as in blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, didn't get our independence to the Emancipation Proclamation from Abraham Lincoln until 1865.
All right, what's your name?
Christy Smith.
Christy Smith. Okay, I got a question for you, Christy. Why do we celebrate? Why is the 4th of July celebrated?
Tradition, and our people get a day off work.
That's right. Okay, so were we as so-called blacks free at that time?
No.
We wasn't free.
No.
So why do you think we glorify that day? Why do you think we really just follow it full-heartedly? Let me say that.
It's just a man-made holiday.
Man-made holiday.
Okay, we follow suit.
Follow suit. Okay, so do you know what it's actually about?
Never really got into it.
Okay.
Hey, we back with another edition of Cuts from the Street. I'm Officer Zephon, and with me today I have
Lori
and
John.
I have Lori and John visiting from Philadelphia. And what we're doing today, Lori and John, we just doing basically a basic Q&A on the history of 4th of July. So the first question that I have for you all is, what is the origin of 4th of July? Why is 4th of July being celebrated?
Okay. Day, because in 1776 we won our independence from England. That's
Very
what
good.
I understand.
Yep, the Liberty Bell rang in
Philadelphia.
Independence Hall, Declaration of Independence was read. So, yeah, celebrating our independence from England.
Right. In 1776, that's when America gained its freedom, right?
Correct.
Okay, so when we look at history, back in 1776, for the so-called, what you would call today's black people or the Native Americans, did they gain independence in 1776 also?
I think it was written into the Declaration of Independence that we're all created equal, but you didn't receive that. No, blacks and Indians didn't.
They didn't receive that.
No, I don't believe they did.
Well, it was legislated, but it wasn't practiced.
Correct.
Right.
So I would say, in word, yes, but in deed, no.
Right. It was in word, but like you said, not in action. So it was actually 1863 when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and that's when slavery was abolished. And it probably didn't trickle down into all plantations until maybe about like 1865. So they were not considered free in 1770.
All right, IUIC Memphis Cuts from the Street. I'm with Sister. All right, we out here at the park, and we just randomly stopping people, asking them about the 4th of July. What's their intake on the 4th of July and what they think that 4th of July derived from. So the first question is, why do we celebrate 4th of July?
Really, we're celebrating
It's like, hey, I want to touch it.
the freedom of the slaves, but that's on June 19th.
So you know that we actually did receive our independence during July 4th, 1776. So when did we receive our independence? Correct. So with that being said, why do you think they gave us our independence like 100 years later?
Well, my husband said they want to still keep us around as slaves. Well, not us, but keep our ancestors around as slaves. To work. And they don't want us to gain our own independence.
Okay.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is IUIC Memphis again. We back with another session of Cuts from the Street. And right now I have with me
I'm Dominique.
my sister Dominique. And Dominique, what we're doing today is we're going out just interviewing our people, and we're trying to bring awareness about this upcoming holiday called the 4th of July. So I'm going to ask you, do you know what is the origin of the 4th of July?
I don't really know the origin. I just don't really celebrate it. Like
Right.
we do what our family do, like the barbecue or whatever. But as far as like fireworks, I come down here and let my kids see the fireworks. But that's about it. I don't just really celebrate the 4th of July.
Right, because, well, you know that the 4th of July is like a multi-million-dollar holiday. Of course, it's a day, everybody off work. But the origin of it is, that's in 1776, that's when the United States of America gained independence from Great Britain. So everybody is celebrating the freedom of America. That's what the fireworks on June 19th. That's what you're talking about, right? No, that's actually Juneteenth. That is the freeing of slavery. That's the abolishment of slavery, which happened in 1865. 1865, June 19th. That's the day that is commemorated as Juneteenth, the freeing of the slaves. So, you kind of jumped.
All right, what's going on, man? What you out here doing today?
Just chilling around the school today.
All right. I got a few questions for you. Why is Independence Day celebrated? From your knowledge.
My knowledge. Honestly, because in school they taught us it was a national holiday.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We here today with Miss
Dorothy.
and Mr.
Adolph Galuccio.
All right, we have them here, and we want to ask them questions concerning the 4th of July. So the first question we would ask would be, why is July 4th celebrated? From your understanding in history or whatnot.
We're celebrated. We celebrate it because that's when they signed the Declaration of Independence, our independence from the mother country, England.
hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill.
All right, here I am. I'm sitting with a young man by the name of
Anthony Barber.
Mr. Anthony Barber. Okay, and we're on the brink of July 4th, a well-known holiday and celebration that goes on nationwide. All right, so Mr. Barber, let me ask you this: July 4th, what seems to be the origin or the purpose for July 4th in America?
Purpose, I think, of July 4th is like when Columbus actually discovered America and America became free for certain individuals.
For certain individuals, because it is when the America got its freedom from Great Britain. Yes. All right, in 1776, and then those 13 colonies did form what we know as America. But then you put a spin on it when you said for certain people. Now, who was the freedom for, and who was the freedom? Who was freedom not for at that time when America got its independence from Great Britain?
Well, who it was not for was for the blacks, because we still in segregation and still in slavery at that time. And our freedom was lost when we got shipped on a boat from Africa to Britain. So now when they came over to America just enslaved us even more.
Scriptures say, envy not thou oppressor. So these people who brought us over here, and they were fighting for their freedom from the other states, they were our oppressors, right?
Correct. Me personally, we don't celebrate the 4th. So therefore, you do not have to follow anybody's ways. Mm-hmm. It says envy not. Just because you don't agree with them, that does not mean that you envy what they do.
So what do you celebrate? Let me ask.
Christmas, birthdays, Easter, of course. Thanksgiving.
Okay. A little more information for you then.
Okay.
Now, those days also were created by our oppressors. So everything that we choose to celebrate here in America, and we follow our oppressors doing it. It was made up by them. Do you believe that we're still in captivity?
That's a mind thing.
It's in your mind?
It's all mine. Me personally, I don't think so.
Okay.
So that leads me to my next question. So if we didn't get free till like 100 years after America got its independence from Great Britain, why do we celebrate July 4th as our independence?
Good question. I can't really answer. The only way I can answer is with another question. Are we really free? But everything set up for a reason. America got its freedom, then they set up whatever they had to set up, and then of course we got out.
What about you? What you think about that? Why do we celebrate independence that really wasn't originated?
Well, my opinion on it is, it's so much stuff in the world that's implanted in people's head, and then especially like in the black community, we get fed so much and we just start to believe it. So my theory, that's why we as African Americans celebrate Independence Day, just from theories or from what stories we done heard. Mm-hmm. That's my theory.
Are we really free today? Do you think we're really free?
It depends on how you think about it. If you're stuck in the matrix, you believe you're free. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no chains on. You ride whatever car you can ride. You walk around. You believe you're free, but in the mind,
Okay, what about you? You think we're free?
I say the same thing. We not free.
Mm-hmm.
We just limited things. We just got more things we can do versus than back then in the days. We just more open with things we can do.
First off, you stole the land, and we steal something going to jail. So how is that great? You stole the people to build America, but we steal somebody. To help us do something. That's called kidnapping. Mm-hmm. So how could something be great when y'all doing the same stuff that y'all don't want us?
So do you think with that being understood, does it make sense? Should so-called black people celebrate do you think it is a beneficial holiday for them to partake in? Yes or no?
I would say yes, only now, because I think now we're I hope to God we're all striving for true equality. So I think it makes us more united. Just trying to get united, okay. Putting us all back together again.
Right.
Only in that sense. I think if you want to be truly, go for truly what was back then, mm-hmm. No, there wasn't freedom.
Right.
And that's nothing that a black person would probably want to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's nothing that a black person would probably want to celebrate.
Right.
And that's nothing that a black person would probably want to celebrate.
Right.
And that's nothing that a black person would probably want to celebrate.
You know, I don't know if I'm in a position to comment on that because I really don't know. I mean, my gut's telling me that there's, I'm sure, pockets around the United States where there are still blacks are mistreated and treated like slaves.
Who enslaved them here?
Honestly, it's white people, but government white people. That's not. Well, they're free, but because they keep everybody else on lock.
The serving class. So when you have the rulership, what you get is your people being on top, not the ones who is oppressed.
Were so-called black people, were we free or were we still in bondage?
I don't think we were so-called free. I don't think we free now. Shit,
Hey.
I think we still going through slavery if you ask me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey.
ain't nothing we can do.
What you were saying is true. In 1776, so-called African Americans were not free. We were still in slavery. That's what June 19th come in. So with that being said, we understand that we were still in the fields picking cotton. They were still getting beat. You know what I'm saying? We know how slavery went down. Does it make sense for our people to be celebrating the 4th of July?
No, not at all.
Not at all, right?
Because we, at some point, everybody take their food stamps, spend it on one day, get all these fireworks, spend it on one day. You still got to worry about your kids going to eat tomorrow. You still got to worry about them eating next week. Just like 4th of July. 4th of July ain't nothing to me. Valentine's Day ain't nothing to me. Christmas might be something because that's just celebrating something with kids. You see what I'm saying? But everything else, nah, we straight.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men."
After what?
The tradition of men.
He said, don't let any man beguile you or fool you or spoil you, with philosophies or vain deceit. Philosophies as in religion or these so-called man-made holidays. All right, finish.
After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ.
Right. So the things that he said after the rudiments of the world, that's what we have been taught. We have been taught what our oppressor taught us in slavery. So the way how to celebrate the 4th of July is the same way that your mama, your grandmama, great-grandma, all the way down the line. But it traces all the way back to 1619 to the transatlantic slave trade. That's when we learned all of these so-called holidays, which ultimately it don't benefit us. Let me ask you this.
When did we was incorporated to receive our independence? Because America originally received their independence in 1776. So were we considered independent as well, our nation, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans?
Were they considered independent? No, always part of the United States. Well,
what'd you say?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
oh, what do you mean with slavery? Oh, what do you mean with slavery? Oh, what do you mean with slavery?
Yeah, right.
That's a bad. That's a black eye for our country.
Right. Do you know when we receive our independence?
In the United States?
Yes, sir.
The first thing I think of is when Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream." Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream." Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream."
Should we partake in celebrating something that didn't include us?
That's a good question, but I would take the position. I'd rather forget it and just say we were always one nation, or we're always one people, and that's a little blotch in our history, and I wouldn't want to try and remember. I wouldn't want to try and remember it. I want to forget it. When there's bad things that happen, I like to forget them. I don't like to harp on it. With gay people, too, today.
Right.
When did they get their independence?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
We're all Americans.
White folks, y'all something else. No, y'all something fucking else, man.
I think we should all celebrate. I agree with him.
Okay.
It's terrible what happened to your people.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a very long time ago.
White folks, y'all something else. No, y'all something fucking else, man.
You're my equal.
Right, right.
I don't know if it's the same way in the South, but you're my equal.
The celebration of July 4th, we already know. We can agree that that's not for us. But why do you think that our people take part in something that has a gruesome history behind it for us?
Well, it's Americanized. And then once you live into a country, you pretty much cultivate what that country actually celebrates. That's what we actually have done. You know, since we've been in America, we have cultivate the same thing that the heritage of the forefathers of their forefathers came up with. So it's not our forefathers. We wanted to know our really culture and heritage. We need to go back to where our people are from. So we get the history of our people back in Africa. Is that where they're originally from? And get what we celebrated at that time.
It's nothing that comes back to our community to build us up. It's a systematic thing that pushes America and its agenda. We must come back to the Bible and we must keep these commandments. And so, with that said, it is a cut.
Well, that concludes another edition of Cuts from the Street. We back, and pretty much today, we got to understand that a lot of our people, again, are totally clueless to the events that take place here in America, and they have no clue of the things that they celebrate. But I think overall we got a chance to plant a lot of seeds. I think we edified a few. We got some good dialogue with the tourists from out of town. What you think about that?
Yeah, I think we all went well overall. A couple interviews I held, the brother was on point with a lot of things he was saying as far as us. We need to know our own history. But they do know a little bit that we July 4th ain't for us. Right. You know, and that's the thing about it, that they need to know that it ain't for us and we need to know our own true history. I mean, so that's all I got to say on it.
Okay. For the most part, what we got today, like you said, was a lot of our people, they already in the knowledge of that day not being for us, and a lot of these days not being for us. So all our people really need is the sincere word to bring them right back to the truth, to where we actually need to be and what we need to be doing as a people. Right. So that's what we come out here for. We come out here to give them a little bit more information on the knowledge that they thinking they have or the knowledge that they seek. What you think about this?
I mean, even when we give them knowledge and they agree to it, I mean, they still go back to the other heathen customs, man. They still partake in it. So they still tell you, we still got a lot of work to do. We still got to keep Israel, with this Bible, with a biblical understanding of we don't need to do this. We need to stop sinning, Israel. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and that's the campaign that we as Israel United in Christ, that's the campaign that we doing right now. We're doing this Stop Sinning campaign. So, this it's good to edify them, and giving them the information out of the Bible, but the main thing they need to know and understand is they have to stop this stuff, because it's putting us as a nation further back into captivity and in sin, so.
Yeah, like what you said, officer, one thing, a lot of people do understand that we wasn't free in 1776. Right. But, like you said, they didn't know that today was the Sabbath, so they still out breaking the Sabbath. Right. So you got a little knowledge, but you still don't know what you're supposed to be doing or why you even having these days forced upon you, or what's the reason for that, you know what I mean? So I think overall, we did a good job. Hey,
Most High did a good job.
Yeah, that's right.
We the same.
Hey, so with that being said, we're gonna close out. Again, this is Cuts from the Street.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.